We would like to accommodate you in whatever fashions of preset notions about tonight's wear should be, tonight's evening cascades. But alas, we do not dictate anything, nor do you truly. Let me give you this. Let's be Inquisition together for a moment. See, I don't control my reality because I am the vibration of my well-being. My reality takes care of itself. A lot of you aghast yourself with the probability of understanding how to choose from a standpoint of being a God creator that is wielding powers, much like what you have called your gods of the past, who can throw thunderbolts and call the seas to 100-foot waves come crashing down on a countryside. This is not the power of God that is. You don't want control over reality. You've never had control because reality needs not to be controlled. Reality is perfection, harmony. And as you move forward, as your life of, let's say, releasing control, as Colton had a big bite out of his ass today about it, you most certainly can be aware of the frequency that says, you didn't have to control this, did you? A reality starts to show itself. A vibrational match that says it's okay. So we don't come in here to conversate in intention. I did not set a speech up. I didn't do anything. The vibration, the room, has a meaning already. It has a reality to be experienced. It is you open a door and you are in, let's say, Willy Wonka's factory. You didn't know it was Willy Wonka. It's a strange door. You walk in and there it is. And you're in that world. That's what happens. See, vibration dictates the reality of where we go. In other words, the point of view, the approach, the isness, the standpoint, the allowability, the vibration, the frequency rates of vibration among all of the ones participating in the class in the now dictate, if you will, the meaning of the class. If you were going to, of course, reference it in time and go back and analyze the meaning of the class. But truly, it's just the experience of the now, and it means truly nothing. You're enjoying the ride. So, let's talk about that. The ride you're about to take, are taking, and will ever take is most certainly never bad, never measurable. But it can be made into something. It can be made into, through choice, because it doesn't exist in choice. It exists in through choice, to choose. You've been taught well about that. Ka taught you very well with to choose. Yes. So through that, you can pretend you are not harmony. You can pretend to mask and ordain yourself with imagery to such a valid point of you had forgotten you were pretending the whole time. It's quite laughable once you notice yourself playing a part. It's silly. It's extremely exciting. But the class is today because of the class. It's not because of me. I don't have intention. I just show up because I am a vibration that says click, and here I am. It wasn't an idea. See, Roxy had someone's coming. We're going to talk about this. But as time moved forward, she understands those were possibilities and probabilities, and when she attached to that because it felt exciting, then she dictated her reality. But the dictation in and of itself, calling that frequency of thought block in, was still within the content of Roxy's and everyone's frequency. So therefore, it's filled with the known. Yes. Even though it's an idea of the unknown, any intention of it, 1 second later, it's a different class. If you hold on to that intention, then you bring that reality match and continuation every now. And that's why things stay the same. It's quite simple. But as Roxy moves and lets go of whatever's coming and maybe this and we can talk about that, then the class becomes more unknown, more authentic connection, more out of bound, more edged. Although you guys can choose, and you have. I'd like to speak to Mark Twain. I'd like to speak to Charlie Manson. I'd like to speak to my higher self. Of course you can do that, because why? Because you're gods, for God's sakes. None of this has anything to do with measurement. If your mind is measuring yourself and you're feeling different attitudes about what you have done, then you are only perceiving yourself as an act. That's not you. You are the one who enacts the act, that loves the act no matter what the act is. When you are emotionally being the actor, actress, and you are feeling the equational relationship of outcome to that vibration of acting, then that's your life. There's nothing else to it. It's quite simple. So recognizing yourself as an actor, as someone playing a part, as Colton did today, called Roxy on the phone and was motherfucking his own self. And motherfucking Roxanne, because Roxanne wouldn't feed him the pity and the misery that he was seeking. Not so much in verbal, but inside he was like, damn it, I need some drama here. And he recognized the actor, but the actor was so convincing to the self of Colton. He goes, I can see myself being an asshole. I can't stop it. And he's literally saying, I can't stop it. You know, well, yes, he can. Because he recognized, I am that. And when you say I can't, that means you can say I can. Right then and there. But see, he's playing in the drama of time. He's playing in accord with what was. Because his guilt is so monumental, his actions of, let's say, paralyzing his own drama and instilling it into another and stopping it and instilling into another so he gets that emotional feedback of being a fucking dick, then he's fulfilled. And since it's in time, that's where he goes to it to reiterate it over and over again and build up his guilt so he has another what? Moment of drug. Feels good, and then mad, and then guilty, and then feels good, and then mad, and then guilty. And then the cycle continues. And all of this is an actress. He's enacting himself. But he also has a point of awareness that says, I know who I am doing that to myself. And no one is doing that. He's doing that. It wasn't society. It wasn't his mother. It wasn't a cause. It wasn't an effect. It was a belief system that was entrenched as a truth. That's all. That's all it was. And if he doesn't choose, it doesn't matter, because every act, no matter the approach of the act being given, whether it is limited or authentic, it is the same viewship of God's. Creating, being, living, exploring, immeasurable. So why do we then come here and talk to you about the differences of the two worlds? Doesn't that offer one world as less than another? Are our presence here in and of itself being contradictory of allowance? I would beg this mind to play with that controversy. Why are we here then? Well, because of vibration. Because we are not here on cause and effect. We are not here to help, hinder, or guide you. We are vibration. In this conduit, exploring channeling opens up a room that says here and now on the door. And then wherever the vibration of her, click, 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 vibrations, worlds connecting, and reality playing out. Again, back to what we said earlier. It doesn't mean anything. How you mean it to yourself is your own truth filtered. Because gods don't place meaning. Fractal gods place meaning. Awesome. But they're both gods and none of them are wrong. So we're here because of vibration connection. We're not here as a lessonary. We're here to explore the vibration that I and you and everybody else have decided to vibrate to. Not intention, by choices of now, click, it happens. The deciding part happened already by choosing whatever joy you are to get to this reality. We have a new student, her name is Jamie. She chose a joy. She chose something of unknown to potential. She could have made 1,000 excuses, fought it all she wants, and been the same. But now it's in a new reality, getting a new experience. It doesn't matter. What it really is I get to do something and see something and feel something new. Why do I need to contain myself in safety and security? Why do I need to keep myself in the same world, the same sandbox? And the dirt here is now getting old. The sand is dingy. It doesn't pack as well. I have no water to make a castle or dig a tunnel. I don't have anything anymore. All my tools are worn. My bucket's broken. My shovel is dull. Let's go and play. But see, the assignment of the actor is where the frustration is laid upon you as a choice. It's the big guilt. It's the big obligation. These big, huge walls that claim their domination over you as a real actor that says, this is real. Fuck you. This is real. And you fight as an actor. Whenever you are against anything, then you know you're acting. And when you mean against, let's all be masters together. You know you are pushing. Saying no is not against. This is where your fractal mind starts to fuck up and you question your own realities. Well, if I say no, that means I'm against reality. No. It means you are very well versed in vibration. In connecting with that vibration that's offering a connection because you guys live in the ally of time. Saying no is not disconnecting from reality or rejecting. It's allowing yourself to expand to a new connection. One that services you in evolution instead of maintains you in evolution. There's still evolution, there's still movement, there's still newness, but your vibrational experience stays the same frequency of the current if you choose to connect with something that you absolutely know you want nothing to do with. But your actress and actor part says, oh, you have to. Oh, I got this. I understand that. No, you don't. You know it, but no, you don't need to understand it. Or no, you don't need to got it. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. You have the biggest ally, time. You can take your time and say no to something that you don't want to do. And if you debate yourself, then you know you really don't want to do. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. Because if you wanted to do, you don't question ever what you want to do. You reject what you want to do with your excuses of keeping yourself frequency the same. That's what you do. I'm not worth life, so I'm going to talk myself, negotiate it with my will, and just say, no, I'm not allowed to grow. It's that simple to know. And you know also, just as easy, I want to do that. That looks fun, but I don't want to do that, but I have to. Those are actors. Those are things that say, what are you doing? Can you see yourself as a commercial? Okay? Let's all look at ourselves as a commercial. And I'm going to call the commercial program. In other words, it's nothing but programs, or the program part of this is nothing but commercials. Okay? And I want you to get up and speak your truth. And then you are commercializing yourself to humanity. It's unsolicited, but you're going to speak it because someone is telling you to speak your truth. Whether that someone is someone else outside of you, in other words, a co-created entity, or your egoic mind saying, speak your truth. Then you know you are commercializing yourself. Because no one needs to know your truth. If it is solicited by another, then you offer. But unsolicited truth can keep, because they are known to the self that needs no justification. We know that you have connections and comfort in numbers and you want to share things. Yes, you can share things. We're talking one moment sharing an idea of evolution. But trudging over the same old ground to make sure that you are telling yourself your truth and you need validation from another, that's commercializing yourself. That's telling everyone, look what I found again and again and again and again and again, when you haven't found it. Because when you found it, you never talk about it because you know it. And once it's known, it's never recognized. It means it's still staying outside of you. And you're keeping it there by keeping in awe of it, separated from it, not fully bringing it into the fold of you. And then you're commercialized. You're justifying a truth. When you're making conversation, is the conversation about something to pass time? Or is it an uncomfortable silence between 2 or 4 people? Or 6 or 2 or 5 or 7? Doesn't matter. Are you trying to fill the gaps because you feel uneasy? Or can you just let things naturally happen? Can you be the mastery of no responsibility to entertain everyone around you? Are you commercializing yourself? Are you barking and begging for people to believe what you have learned? Do you understand, class? Rhetorical question here. What cultures are? Isn't it amazing how cultures around the world can manage to live as long and as healthy as everyone else that's not on your diet? How is that absolutely possible? But yet you see it and understand it every day, that your truths are uniquely for you. They need not be another until it is offered in co-creation. In other words, someone comes and says, you know, I'm feeling this way. What do you think you got? And then you go, well, I found this. This works for me. But if you start barking orders, then you're another preacher. Get the fuck out of my reality. Why do you need to tell them the truth? You're not telling them anything. You're offering. And this is what I found. This is what I found that made me a co-creator with this idea of reality of pain. And then I understood it through this point, and I had a belief system that did this. And then you talk from intelligence instead of dictatorship of an actor that reeks of ego, preacherhood. You got to be aware of what you're doing to yourself. You ain't doing it to anyone else. However they respond or react is up to them. But it's what you are choosing to engage in. Each and every one of you, each and every one of you make your choices of reality to engage in. You are here to choose. This is what this world is. When you stop choosing, your reality by default gets better, easier, and more effortless moment by moment. And the only action, the physical action you do, much like Nancy, after the 3rd time, gave in, and then the snowblower showed up. Snowblower would have showed up after the 1st time if she was allowing herself to be effortless. If her approach with that shoveling snow was passion, then no snowblower arrives. It's not needed because the work is not work. It's a relationship with the reality that is expansion, exploration, revolutionary of inside relationship with herself, the snow, the environment, the unit of that moment. That's when action is taken. One says, man, you're a hard worker. And you're going, oh, I don't work hard. What are you talking about? I saw you out there shoveling snow for 3 hours. Only seemed like 10 minutes to me. Because there's no actor. There's nothing to be labeled. There's nothing that has meaning. Look what I did, everyone. I did 3 hours worth of work. Please say I'm awesome. I sweated and everything. You're seeking. That's the actress, and the actor being a dominion with the big beacons out there on the commercialized TV and waiting for someone to tune in so you can tell them how awesome you are and how wrong they are, how fucked up they are for doing whatever the hell they're doing. How can anyone be fucked up if they're just choosing God? You're choosing to be a fucked up God to another. Again, the other doesn't care. They're their own world. But to another, God is enacting to yourself. We all know that. Why? Because you're afraid. Once again, you're afraid to not be what you know you are. The pain, the drama, the inquisition, the smart ass, the intelligent, you call it that, what's truly logical, the make sense person. Oh, I figured it out. I got it all handled. Oh, I got it all handled. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me go. All that shit. So you can see yourself from a different point of view. You can look at your actions that were actors. That's what you do. After the moment is done, you seek, look, then you know you've been acting the whole time. When you can see yourself from a distance, you know you are not that. That is an idea of belief because the self-awareness, isness, is not recognized. Because choice doesn't recognize itself as choice. You're just now. But the ally of time shows you the ability to free yourself from the own imprisonment you have enacted upon yourself as an actor. It's up to you. Does it take guts? Sure. Does it take glory? No. What does it take? You. That's it. There's no process. There's no good or no bad. We're not here to teach you. We're not here to do anything. What we're here is just co-creating with you in an idea of just seeing where things go. That's all. We like where things go. You know where they go? Now. We're here because we are a vibrational match. You will know yourself as intention until you know yourself as no attention. When you, soon as you stop paying attention to yourself, then there is no intention ever again. Unless you fractal yourself, but you won't know the fractal. Because you, just like right now, you know you. So when you fractal yourself, you never forget that. The fractal does. So you never forgot, did you? Just depends on the point of view you are. Take the journey. Take the journey of the now. Don't employ the language of limitation on a daily basis to position yourself in life. To have something in your storage to manage your worthiness against the, let's say, the friction of reality. To always fall back on a safety net or an old jargon that gives you some kind of diplomacy of I did something good and accomplishing in my life. Please love me. How can you be anything less than all that is? Because your actor, mind, separated belief system, whatever you want to call it, says so. Because you haven't had the proof. The proof is someone else giving you the authority to say, yes, I am this. But the master knows only I can do that. Only I accept my truth. My truth creates my reality. All of you had known what it is to choose your truth because you're here. You're freer, you're happier, and more exquisite. It's not a result. It's an allowance. It's not to be measured. It's choice. Life is so simple when you stop labeling it. with limitations. Stop assessing it. Stop analyzing your situation. Just like Bianca said, Colton, forget about it. That was then, this is now. Let's go. Then you choose to enact the past, because of your rage and your guilt, you have to satisfy that wound. It's cut open so wide, it's like a gaping gash. It scared the shit out of a field medic. It's so nasty and open, and you have to fill it. You have to fill it with other people's pain. So you enact them and target them so you can wound yourself in healing. You're always wounded, of course, but you perceive it as healing because you're transferring your pain into another, because they're reacting to you. They're arguing back. They're upset. They feel guilty. And you're translating that because you are a narcissist to yourself. And these are all noticeabilities. This is what's exquisitely your right as a human to do. And each human carries and bears their own burden if you choose to call yourself burdensome of reality is. When you accept reality, yes, the burden is left in the now. It's never taken along. You're the one who drags shit with you. Because the actor is afraid to be naked. The actor is afraid it's not going to have a part to play. And have no one come to its act. It says, buy tickets to me, please. Buy tickets to me. Here's what I got. And when you start to get starved, then you become more desperate in connection. This is really easy to be noticeable as a young teenager coming into puberty. They start doing some stupid shit to get noticed. It's not stupid, it's truly exciting. Parents call it stupid. It's what it is natural so they can connect. We know we like lightheartedness. We like other realities. We like these things. But I would speak to you as an ascender right now. This is the work. And we dig deep into it. And then you see and feel, the more and more you see and feel this frequency, this tone, this mannerism of connection, this vibration that is your reality in the now, the more you are enacted in that from an approach, from a standpoint of release, then the less we talk about this shit. Because there's no reason for it anymore. The reasonality is vibration connection. When you are unreasonable with yourself, there's no reason for it. That's exactly what happens. And then more fairies come in. More dick swingers. That's what's fun. The class enacts itself. I am a portion of the class. I am co-creating through a vibration. What is represented is an equation of the prism. All of us combined into one now. And this is reality is. And it is exquisite, immeasurable, priceless, forever. Any daunting count on your end is the vibration frictioning up against the natural, the torment of a truth about to be released, holding on and shaking the shit out of you. And you're the one holding. Then the class changes. We gave you such ideas this last week, such mind boggles, to give you ways to bend reality in new ways that was not possible to your mind of equation. You vibrated that reality, the circumference of the class, to allow these mysteries into your mind, to boggle and spook the self of preservation, to feel daunted and unworthy, all in the same moment, yet solid and peaceful. The exquisite ride has no end and no beginning. Seek not any justification for evolution measurement. Be nothing in the now to see the beauty of forever. And as always, the classes shift. All the way back from 1984, right, Rose? Timeline. Exquisite understandings of potential. And we will, as we always do, shift with you. We have so many to come and speak and offer these things. But remember, class, as more of you have allowed your inquisition self to be intrigue instead of inquisitive of lack, depending on knowledge to understand your own reality when it is given in the moment and need not understanding in every now, because the now is perfect and the evolution of time allows you to become epiphanized into wisdom in the perfect now. When you use that approach instead of always seeking what's wrong with reality, then the vibrational matches of the classes change. And the unknown allowed to parry with you on a daily basis beyond the class times. Because the inquisition of the vibration is so inquisitive in exploration and intrigued in this mind. It says, I want to know more of this unknown, but the hardy, let's say, trailblazer does not prepare itself. It just lives. It has no map. It knows no corner to look around. It seeks not the next shelter or watering hole for dependencies. It is uncharted area, territory, seas, oceans, galaxies. And you get to. You do. And it just takes, I got the now. Does it take a lot to get used to? Yes. It's a hard habit to break, to let go of always being conditioned to prepare, always being known if the future is ready, seeking those ideas of solids, hunker down and locked in future times. Well, that dictates and chooses one thing, not the outcome. Oh, no. Don't be so silly. The vibration. We know it's a habit to form yourselves in the futures of budgets and prepared, to the ideas of emptiness to be fulfilled by your mind, of what would be, could be, should be allowed to fulfill me in pursuit of happiness, instead of exquisite realization that happiness has never not been. So, as we journey forward, we have time, we have a weekend, as you guys call it. And as all weekends, we tell you to go and be. But be you the best you can each and every day, each and every now. When you feel, now listen, here we go. When you feel an idea that is bestowed upon you, slow down the reaction mind. Don't measure it so quickly. Notice your mind measuring it to predict the outcome. Whenever you see your mind laying things out and how you're going to approach it and handle it and put stays into place, then you know you are in an actor position, entranced with the truth unrecognized, saying this is the only course of action, and you don't notice that course of action is in and of itself enacted by a belief. The natural takes no action in the idea of response, in the idea of reaction. The now just is simple. It just is. Responding was to give you an ability to see yourself from a different point of view, that you don't have to react so much. But even response disappears. and something is offered and you just turn away from it as if it was not offered. And you can do that because we are offered a billion ideas. And you know what takes us to our idea? Our vibration, ourselves. Your vibration is doing the same, but the mind doesn't recognize it because it's so hurried to assess out of habit its situation of offered and puts it on a measurement scale. And would this be worthy of engaging in? And if it is worthy of engaging in, what is the possibility of the results in hope? If it is not worthy of engaging in, then it's going to be measured against respect and responsibility and obligation. And then if those are superseding its own worthiness of will, then of course you obligate yourself to handle it in the best way, and then you, quote, deal with it. All of that, all of it, is a world of muck and mire that need no treads from your feet. Zero. All you have to do is look away. What are you missing? You're now. You're now. If you're now, you can't be missing. You miss lack, wonderful. You miss potential, not a chance. Potential is now. It's here. What's here? Immeasurable. Only you measure it. Your life goes with no effort. Many of you have experienced things taking care of themselves, and when it gets to a certain point, then you try to make it better. You listen to other people's to hold on to what you have. There was one time when Roxy was doing channeling classes. And there was one of the students that said, Roxy, these classes are amazing. Moving in the slide classes. And you know what? She said, you need to limit your classes. You need to limit the amount of people that can come into these classes and charge them more money. Because they were so awesome, she put a belief on top of Roxy that said, you need to keep this awesomeness contained because this is just too awesome. So Roxy goes, why would I limit myself? Well, you don't want to lose what you have. And I said, Roxy said, I can't. I can't lose what I have. There's nothing to lose. There's only more to see. So when you start to feel yourself being an effortless God and things are starting to happen, it's not that you need to admire it and be in awe of it. It's as simple as being it and moving through it to know there's more. There has to be, because you are everlasting. You always see everything new every day. Everything new. The same sheets? No, different sheets. Different floor, different toothbrush, different shower. Everything is different. Everything is new. You don't know that though. So you call it the same. So that's what keeps your reality the same. But what truly keeps it the same in vibration connection is vibrational feeling. How you feel about your reality keeps it the same. When you're ready to feel something else, you just let go of what you have. That's it. There's nothing to do here. You guys need so much entertainment though, don't you? Hey, what are you guys going to do? What are we going to do now? And now what? What about now? What are we going to do later? What do you want to eat later? Because you got to make sure you're all good to make yourself feel good about things in time. You have 90% of your time planning and 10% of enacting your idea plan. Think about when you're at work. You're thinking about the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. When you are joyous at work, there's no time. It's all your relationship. If your relationship is joyful, then of course you're not listening to this part because it doesn't make sense to you. Because your work is not work. It doesn't vibrate. But if your work is work, then you know you're always timing your work to escape from work. Therefore, you have a lot of time on your hands, don't you? Yes. Bright. All right. So we're another part of the speaker collective, as each and every one of you will be, and have already been that. Everybody. Let's talk about exchange of information. Let's talk about, I need eyes, Roxanne. What do you got? Yep, okay, let's use those. Okay. Let's talk that exchange of information on, you remember the infinity idea, infinite? I'm going to, Jamie, it's in one of the, Roxy wants me to tell you, this idea is in one of the classes. But basically, the infinity scale is exchange between entities. So in this speaker collective, okay, if we put it in a circle, let's put it in a circle. We're going to visual aid ourselves here. So in this circle is a speaker collective. And within that, there's a billion different what you call infinite signs of exchange of information. But they're never on the same course. They always blend with the next one, but you're always exchanging that infinity. 2 are always becoming 1, and 3 are becoming 1, and 4 are becoming 1, or a billion are becoming 1, and then back into a billion. It's never labeled, it's never structured, it's never sacred. Sacred is an interpretation of reality, sacred geometry we're talking, of course. So within that exchange of information, I'm a speaker in this now, going through all the speakers, and we're all collectively being this unit, this hive mind that the Ascension has given you as the first experience of that interaction. So that hive mind is the one mind of a collective. We're all interacting at the same frequency rate. The vibration creates, okay, the vibration creates the gestalt of the speakers. The frequency is everyone acting in the same unum within that frequency, which is natural. It's, in other words, how fast we're all vibrating together to get a particular experience. So when we are vibrating in together, it's no intention, it's just the natural being harmonistic. And then we find ourselves in exchanging of information, of experiences as speakers, and we keep blending. So when I circulate through all of these, I understand every one of my speaker selves and the collective and the mind all at the same time. And I'm doing my infinity thing. And then, of course, as another comes in and another departs the speaker, then we share in the information. So within the speaker collective is all of creation. And it happens in the now, but if you want to put it in time, it happens over a gazillion years. And it never stops and it never will stop because it's always enacting now. And you are already in this idea. You've already, in your time, where you are in history compared to where you are now. From where I am as a speaker, all of you are in this class of this, no, pardon us, I'm in this speaker while in this class. So you guys are part of this collective because what is playing out now is at least 1 million years old, okay? Just depending on the approach, and that's a time thing because sometimes we're only 500,000 years old, and then sometimes we're 2 or 3 million years old. It's just depending on the approach of the now, okay? But those are not statistics, mechanics, and we don't need to mess with that today. We'll bring, who do you want to bring in for that? That's a good idea, Roxanne. Edelson. Oh, yeah, Edelson. This is for Roxy's benefit. She's going to frequency Edelson. You guys don't know Edelson. Edelson would have been your Einstein, but on a parallel Earth, okay? So anyways, so he can explain the logistics of co-creation in that mannerism of mechanics. So as this speaker collective, you guys are in this idea, okay? You've already played it out, and you're way beyond what you are right now. A lot of you are Homo Divinicus, and I don't mean just a class, I mean humanity, is because when Homo Divinicus started bright up, everyone says, holy shit, let's be Homo Divinicus. And of course, a lot of people came and did that. And it's easy when you understand yourself as intention or as choice as part of your creative skills. So, of course, you have to enact in time. Okay, I'm getting off course. So anyways, so you're going to understand that the speaker collective is all of you. And when we're exchanging information, we're sharing. So right now we're exchanging information. So I intimately understand Nancy right now. Nancy's point of view, Nancy's vibration, Nancy's reality, Nancy's beliefs, Nancy's authentic, Nancy's inauthentic, all from one point of view, mine. So Nancy is exploring me as well. Maybe the fractal doesn't know it. She doesn't understand it because she's perceiving it from an outside observation. But as she's vibrational feeling, then she is exploring me, which is, of course, with the potential, if she chooses, in that idea, and I'm talking Nancy, the whole's already chosen, to explore the gestalt of me as well as the speakers and exchange information. So in other words, in every now, you have an entire universe to explore. And how you allow yourself to be connected to those exploration potentials, because you live in time, so you have potentials, that's still here. Those explanation potentials will give you the experience of your exact frequency match. The more you understand yourself as not being able to understand a lot of the stuff we're speaking, the quicker it will be known to you as an exchange of information instead of information solicited, taught, and teacher and student approach, that you can get it through enough explanation. You don't need explanation, because within your frequency field, this idea infinity symbol between me and you, and it can overlap 1 billion times in 1 nanosecond, and then that billion times equals 1 billion nows of understanding me and you together as whatever we are. Okay, so all of this information is inherently in the now, is what we're trying to get to your fractal mind. The inquisition or the inquisitive self is a vibrational self, but the needy self is a self that is employed in time, that doesn't want to understand through allowance. It needs to understand through predicated belief systems of taught, teacher-student approach. So that's a recognition, another recognition of a timeline asset that can be no longer as a choice enacted. That can be no longer enacted as an actress or an actor. Yes, okay, there you go. Thank you, Roxanne. So that approach in and of itself, to teacher student, and that's the only way you can get information, is of course that vibration, and that world enacts this translation, this interaction, this class. As you guys allow more and more, the weekend mode we're talking about, this reality to just unfold for the next few days. Let everything that you come into you be what it's going to be, and let your mind measure the living shit out of it. Let your mind not understand it. Let everything happen about the mind that's killing you to take it to an engagement reality of, oh, I see you. Don't give it no energy, in other words. Then the only result you're going to get is vibrational connection. You're going to start to exchange the information that's already have been exchanged, is being exchanged, and never will be exchanged. You're going to start to get conscious notice of it. You cannot discount the quasi-mind that is present in you as a God. Again, there is no shield between you and your intelligence. Zero. What is enacted is in the moment of a deployed belief system. And as soon as your focus is over here, this gate's back open. But it draws your attention, and if you habit yourself, I don't understand that, then the filters go up and the information is depleted to a simple, I don't understand these colors, these enactments of vibration, these frequencies, these tones, these smells, these interactions. I don't get it. Yes, we know you don't get it, because you cannot get the idea of an unknown frequency through a frequency of known, because they are on 2 levels, so that it doesn't match. You guys get epiphanies because you got out of your way. Not because you earned it, not because someone gave it to you. You got out of your way and you stopped employing a shield, and you allowed it, as uncomfortable as it is, as painful as it is, to not bark that mind and engage in that mind. Well, I don't understand this, but maybe this says, and how can that be? And any of that, that's a filter, because the vibrational connection is, God, this is hard being an asshole. This is hard asking these questions. This is driving me nuts. I don't understand. Whenever you are being driven nuts by you, stop. Because you're recognizing the actor now. The person that says you need to do this. And then as soon as you stop, just for that one split second, all this exchanged information is allowed to be known to this mind. This mind that is not filtered becomes the quasi-mind every moment. It ceases to be the quasi-mind, never. It is shielded from the idea of itself. You, conscience, are shielded from the idea conscience, you, whole, by the belief system that depletes the frequency connection between the fractal and the whole. And the more and more you decrease your own filters, the more and more you connect with your whole in remembrance, and then there's no more filters. So of course, there's no recognition of the fractal, and your awareness returns, and there's no more labeling. So you already know that. But you can start to see that idea, that all of this speaker information is already employed in you, and you've explored it. Some of you are still exploring it. How do you not explore it? Let me give you that. And Edelman's chiming in, or Edelson, sorry, is chiming in. How do you not enact the speaker any longer? It's because the vibration is somewhere else that is more of a match than the speakers. But you never miss the speakers. The speakers is the same as a Sunday afternoon ice cream. It's a now that's unassigned. It never needs to be assigned because the exquisite experience is non-polarized. And once you start to feel non-polarization, no measurement, no habits, no needs, no wants, no whatabouts, no ifs, ands, or buts, none shoulda, coulda, wouldas, none of those things that contain you within this library of limitation, the language of limitation. Then the language of the now returns, and the only thing is known is a vibrational connection that is not polarized. And up here, it's like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. What is this? Now, the last point we're going to make is in your life, your daily experience, when you are choosing and you find yourself reacting to belief systems, you got to be a mannerism, an approach of jovial. Don't be so hard on yourself, because that's an inquisition mind turning to a tyrant to have you achieve. And the more you try to achieve, that is it. It's the tighter of the grips of you holding on to the same frequency, because there's no achievement in reality. So when you're out there on the slopes, Tom, and you're up there and you're doing your idea scan, and you're two planking, awesome, and the other snowboarders around you, and they're having a good time, and you're having a good time, that's all it is. It's a good time. And there's no this or that or the other. It's the now. You fall in love with the skis and the snows and the edges shushing. You fall in love with the chairlifts and the cable cars. I don't think they have cable cars there, not the big ones anyway. You need to go over to Caprone, Italy, and ride a good one. I mean, when it swoops over and your stomach goes, oh, that's exciting. So anyhow, so you know that relationship, Tom, that this is going to be my idea. This is going to happen. You have an ally called time. You're going to go skiing in Colorado. Yes, that's a relationship reality in time. But the exquisite joy between now and Colorado is the same joy Colorado has the potential as now, because one moment has nothing to do. But there's a gap between those two moments, everybody. It's called time. So the gap between now and when he's skiing in Colorado must be filled with experience, will be filled with experience. So Tom doesn't approach that idea, Colorado, with any hope, because it takes him away from the exquisite now. And the now becomes even more blissful to when he sweeps into Colorado. It's just a different flavored ice cream. It's immeasurable. That's where this is going. Every now experience does not be labeled by the action of the experience. The experience becomes so potentialed in non-polarity that you cannot measure work, play, good or bad any longer, because the vibrational connection to harmony becomes just in the quasi-mind that is now present in the conscience. And there's no room, no need, no reason to measure any longer. That's the exchange of information that's going on. Every time you open yourself up, you ping through your nows of this exchange of what you are. What you are, not who you are, not what or who you have been, what you acted. That's all the mind. But in your heart, you're feeling and connecting with speakers. Because this is now. And there's other things you're connecting with, right? But you guys are in time, so we're enacting this ideology of a time status called the speakers that you're being. So understand your reality is a vibrational equation to reality. It's nothing to do with meaning, purpose, outcome, dictatorship, tyranny, blame, betrayal, must-have needs, truths beyond your own heart. All of those things that are beyond the heart are the actor enacting itself that has forgotten that it was a choice to be on stage. And it can turn around and walk away and go back to yourself. Yes. So that's all we have for that. Good stuff, guys. Very good stuff tonight. See, the class moves because the class moves. You guys move because we move. I move because you move. But as long as you are defining us as separate, then you always have movement and measurement. And there is no movement and measurement. There just is. Jennifer.
So the filters are pretty much trying to figure out the equation that we already know.
Well, yes, but the filters in themselves are employed by the conscious mind. The conscious mind then employs it because of the dictatorship of the reality around you, okay? You're detailing the reality. Then the filters go up, and then you become the idea of that truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you don't know you're that truth most of the time, and still you start being the observer and start to recognize. Like Colton, he really understood, like, my God, I'm doing this to me. So he saw the I, and he saw the self that was being that person that he hated. And he's afraid. He's so afraid to accept the self that he hates, because if he does, then he's going to have nothing else left to do. That's what he fears the most. The emptiness of that quasi-mind. But it's not empty, it's full. The actual limited mind is empty every moment. And that's why you guys always seek to fulfill it with what you know, the same vibrational equation. Misery loves company, blah, blah, blah. You understand, right?
Right, yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, it did. I'm seeing it from a different perspective. So that's very cool. Because, you know, when you say we know all this stuff, this has been written a billion years ago, or whatever way you decide to look at it. Us being in this class, it's like we know it. We're looking at it from a different point of view now. That's all. It's just a different relationship.
Absolutely. It's a different relationship with it. It's the now. And now you're looking at it from a different relationship.
Yeah.
Because every single now, your entire reality is looked from a new you. You know what it's looked from? A blending of all creation passing through you. Because that little thing that's way over there that works its way through a reality is connecting to you, and whatever it has experienced has gone through you, which means it's already experienced through you because it is experiencing something new that's already passed through you. So that's why we're one. We're never without each other. We're never undiscovered, yet undiscovered.
Right. That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's
So what you just said to Jennifer, that's like an expansion on what Daphne's question was during the day class the other day about uh, other people, different parts of the whole experiencing through us.
yes, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, that would work. Sure.
I was actually going to ask that question when you just said that to Jennifer. So okay, thank you.
Yeah. So you understand that relationship. You guys can't be don't be scared to be nothing. Okay? Let me offer you that. Because the noticeability of you never enacting an image never leaves you empty, because you're always aware. So you have to see that. The less you enact your image, then you notice something about yourself that you are aware. You're still aware, no matter how hard you try to be an image and not to be image, you still get the same idea. I'm here and now. And then that becomes the habit to release or to choose. Right? So, are you following me, Brett?
Yes.
Okay. Keep going. Keep going. There's more
The
here. There's more here. We're going to play a little bit.
yeah, the feeling of like unworthiness of like not counting will be released by continuing to focus on my awareness, and in time that awareness will start to give me worthiness.
Well, yeah, it's not going to give you worthiness. Worthiness is already there. You're going to remember it because your mind is not getting what it needs, but it's going to notice what it is.
Okay.
Because you've always been distracted on what it needs. That's been your whole life. What do I need
Yes.
now? What do I need now? What do I need now?
Yes.
I need, and then you don't do that. Okay?
Yes.
So, but the idea is understanding yourself as a point of view that is so intimately unique only through your awareness, but you are the same person that I am. We are the same energy, the same source, and we dive through each other's realities. I live you as you live me. You know me internally, in your heart. You've explored who I am, not only an individual, but the collective that I embrace in that now. And there's different vibrations, different frequencies of me to explore. And I am you to explore as well. So I dive into Brent, and I understand Brent is an entire new world, vibrational connection. So you are what? A universe to be explored. I explore you, you explore me. The exchange of information, that's constant. Nothing to hide, nothing to be afraid of, nothing to hold on to. Because the only thing you're going to find is some kind of idea that the mind cannot deny its own existence, its awareness. And then it loosens its own grips upon itself as an identity instead of part of the one. Because you're just fighting for your own isness. And there's nothing that's private in this universe. There's nothing that is hidden. There's nothing that is secret. The only thing you have unique to you is your point of view, how you choose to see your truth and enact it, right?
Yeah.
And that's enough. That's what you need to see.
I don't see it right now, but I know that that's okay because I know that in time I will, because that's what puts the unlimitedness in creation is the
Well, yeah.
uniqueness of life.
Because when you let go of Brent, the only thing you're going to discover is more of Brent. Brent never goes away. Your eyes never go away. Your awareness. But you're only going to understand a relationship of knowing who you are to knowing what you are. You're maintaining the who you are because you need acceptance. You didn't have your mother's love. We all know that. In class, everybody knows that. You didn't get approved. You had to earn your love. You had to earn rather their love. You had to work hard and you couldn't get it. So you spent your entire life trying to earn your respect or your, let's say, connection to other people's, because you bend over backwards for realities. You bend over backward at the expense of you to make sure that everyone is happy and joyous, to make them feel better. So that's the way you connect. That's your image. But if you drop that image, the only thing you're going to know is you. You just don't see you because you've been always enacting you. I need to go to work. I can't leave work. I can't leave the house. I can't move to California. I can't do this. I can't say hi to this guy. I have to fix this. I did this wrong. See, all of those are enactments of image. That's all they are. That's you being a God, saying, this is my truth. And when you recognize that truth, the minute you don't do that, then there's something that fills it up immediately that says more of me instead of exactly what I've been. Make sense?
And even if I keep choosing it, it's okay, because now
Well, of course it's
you
okay,
said
baby, stop. You don't even need to ask that question. It's okay. How can life be not okay of your truth? Who am I? I am not
just an
your
offer.
judge. You are. So you never need to ask the question again, is it okay? You do not need permission to know that your choices are okay. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you need permission?
No.
Or can you accept that?
Yeah, I accept that I do need permission.
Can you let go of that?
Yes, yeah.
Because as long as you say, I guess that's okay then you're still being that image. You're never accepting that it is okay. Do you see that?
Yes.
And of course it's okay, darling. The only thing you're going to do is die. And then the next thing you know you're not dead. So you never die and you poof, oh shit, I'm Brent. Oh, whew, what a ride. That's it. Relax. Okay?
Everything in this week's class I've understood, but then it just makes my life right now feel like so trivial.
Good. Then let it be trivial. But again, the assessing actor loves to assess and measure itself on time scales to understand itself in relationship on where it fits in life.
Yeah, yeah.
When the classes were, maybe a chocolate swirl.
Yeah.
Soft ice cream. Maybe a Haagen-Dazs. That's all it was. It's how you relate to it to get to experience yourself. But as soon as you start to mindfully measure it and place it and assess it, then you keep yourself in the constitution of evolution. And you're already evolved, my friend. Yes?
Yes. Thank you.
Beautiful. Good, baby?
Yes. Yeah.
Jennifer. Thank you, darling. Jennifer.
So unworthiness is pretty much felt when we upkeep images, right?
Yes. The unworthiness, because you have to command an image that you don't want to, so you are unworthy of your natural. That's where the unworthiness bursts for, is because you have a self that says, this is your natural, and you go, I am unworthy of my natural, so you employ other words, unworthiness as an image, because you're not allowed to be your natural.
And we have to go through, or we've gone through several images to realize that it's not our natural, but that's just the game, right? It's just going through.
It's not the game in and of itself. You can label it a game, but what it is, it just is. This is how you guys are choosing to understand in and of itself. With time, you need time here to do it. Without time, there's no doing this, okay? With time and understanding of separation, that whole game, if you want to call it that, is the way you're playing it through your own vibration, your choice.
Right, yeah, because now I see unworthiness in a completely different way, that I can't be anything but worthy. What actually pinches me off and what triggers me with the unworthiness thing is every time I do enact an image that is painful for me to enact.
Yes, it's painful to be unworthy, but you feel unworthy because you'd rather be unworthy than worthy because you're so afraid to get to know yourself. Why are you afraid to know yourself? Because you were told you were wrong by someone who said, I love you, and then they said you were wrong. And you gave what? Guilt and disappointment. And it all started with those images. And they were reinforced. So then, of course, you just are deathly afraid to trust yourself.
Yeah.
You ever heard people, I don't trust me. Well, why not? Well, I can go off the deep end. Good.
Yeah. Because I realize now the confusion, whenever now I get into the state where there is an image and I'm scared to drop it. I know that my mind is reeling, trying to help me feel better when it's just release it. But the idea of releasing it is so, I mean, frightening, because you really think that there's nothing there, when actually what you're doing is releasing it to understand more of you.
Yes.
But it's so foreign, and it feels so empty that you go, spooky, back to that word spooky. But when you really do it, it's almost like you just give up on it, because it's like, I can't fight it anymore. But it's an opposite thing. You think you're holding on to it doesn't feel like a fight. But when you letting go of it is actually the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That's the fight. That's what Colton, I want to let go of this. And he's fighting because he says, I can't. So he's enjoying the fight of holding on to himself, because if he lets go, he doesn't know who he's going to be.
Right.
He doesn't mean he's not going to be accepted. There's a possibility. He'd rather have such pain than freedom, because the demise, the thought of being absolutely empty with Bianca no longer feeding him and he's going to be no image, he'd much rather have the hate and the pain and the drama and the arguments. Because at least he's being fed. And
right.
he'd rather be fed than free.
And when you release it, and you release it, you realize that you're fighting it, you just put your hands down, you release it for it to come back in. There's no soothing the way we're soothed when we're fighting for it and we get fed.
Right. Because when you soothe it in the fighting, it's either victory, loss, condolences, pity, compassion. It's
right.
the natural of putting a Band-Aid on that idea. But it never goes away. It just finds its other thing. How long does your happiness last? Have you ever asked yourself then? How long does your happiness truly last? Is when you run empty. And then the happiness is gone, and you need to fulfill it with whatever you have available in that now. You will seek, hunt, fight, claw your way into your misery to give yourself happiness at the expense of yourself or at the expense of others, because you're living in polarity.
Right, and that's where I'm understanding it now. Everything I was doing before to try to soothe it was actually initiating more of it to feed it. Yeah. And it's that the only soothing that's there, if I can even call it, because it's a different word, is by releasing it, feeling that whole, but knowing that it's full, trusting that it'll come back as an emotion that can't hurt you.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter until you do it. Because the conscious mind needs experience. It cannot formulate and convince itself with theory. It needs to know it. That's how it works. And all truths need to be experienced. Theory, fuck it. Doesn't work.
And the best way to do it, what you said earlier was brilliant, was that the more you don't try, I have something that happens. I get up and I go do something else. I distract. Boom, it comes in. The less I try to figure it out, I see how easy it is to release it. The more I'm in trying to figure it out, and I don't realize I'm not letting it go, but fighting it, the more it stays. Yeah.
You're feeding it.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, very good. Any other questions before we get out of here? All right. Well, this is the Speaker Collective, and we've spoke for the last week. And we'll be back again in some other time. Thank you so much for, let's say, engaging with us. It was an exquisite ride from a time-based approach. Bid you all a good day.
Bye.